Hello and welcome, friends. I'm Smita Katti, and as a busy mom, I find that crochet is my calm. I like to reach for a crochet project at the end of the day to calm my racing mind, to kind of wind down my day, and almost always I reach for simple repetitive blankets or scarves. These patterns don't have to be challenging, they just have to make me happy, and they have to be simple enough that I can just repeat the pattern without looking at something. The goal isn't to make a challenging, beautiful blanket, it's just to make a calming crochet project. So let's explore this topic today. Before getting into today's idea, let me introduce myself and talk a little bit more about what my passion is. My name is Smita Katti, and I created Smiling Colors as a space to share creativity in a way that feels joyful, approachable, and realistic for everyday life. It's not about perfection or complicated projects. It's more about the process of creating it and just enjoying that. If you ever felt like your creative time has to be productive, impressive, or somehow, worth it, this space is meant to gently shift that idea and just focus that creativity can be simple, it can be calming, and you need to just make small pockets of time in your day to fit it into your schedule. The way I see it is that these simple repetitive blankets are easy to pick up projects. Whenever you walk past them, you're tempted to sit down and crochet a row or two because it's so easy and relaxing. They don't ask much of you, and even if it's like the end of the day, it's like 10 p.m. in the night, you still want to find 5 minutes just to relax and play with your crochet project. These are projects you can work on even when you're tired because you know you won't mess it up much because they're just simple repetitive stitches. And I love making simple repetitive blankets or scarves. These are both rectangular in shape. You don't need to measure out and check the sizing, make an armhole, anything like that. You're just making a square or rectangle piece of fabric. And in the end, the blanket or scarf turns out so beautiful. You can gift it to friends or use it yourself. And I always love that it's something that you make that's tangible and you have something that is so satisfying to make. Here are a few tips on how you can create a calm crochet experience. Because whether we like it or not, sometimes we tend to complicate things and make it difficult on ourselves. So these are a few things that I keep in mind while choosing my projects so that it makes it intentionally calm and meditative. Tip number 1. Find patterns with easy repeats. Choose patterns that have either just one row repeat or maximum 2-row repeat. Make sure they have stitches that you are confident about, or if you're learning them, it's something that you're able to understand and you think you can make something out of it. If you're just beginning or learning new stitches, always try to start with a scarf instead of a blanket because blanket is like a huge project, a time commitment. A scarf is something that you can focus on and finish much more easier. So anything that has simple stitches, and make sure that it has either 1 or 2 row repeats only. Nothing more complicated than that. Choose yarns that feel good to work with and colors that bring you sense of comfort. Only buy yarn once you have a project or a pattern in mind. It's very tempting to buy yarn and then try to figure out how to use it, but if you work in the reverse, if you already have a project or a blanket or a pattern in mind and then buy the yarn, you'll actually start working on it much quickly. Not only that, try not to follow what is trending or what is popular, but look at the yarns and buy something that you genuinely love. Buy colors that make you happy. Buy colors that are things that you know you will enjoy because those are the kind of projects that you will reach for again and again. Let go of expectation. These projects are not meant to be impressive. There can be beauty in simplicity as well, and the simple 1-row, 2-row repeats are just so that the colors flow, you get to play with your yarn, and you're making a blanket that is useful and it's easily giftable as well. Watching the blanket grow stitch by stitch is actually one of the most satisfying things that you can see. So let go of expectations, just take your time, enjoy the process, be mindful as you crochet, and just enjoy making those stitches, and you'll finish the blanket within no time. Make it a habit. Intentionally try to carve out time in your day so that you reach for your project and work on it. It doesn't have to be too much. If you just have 10 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, or maybe you make it a row a day. And for me, this is actually the part of the day in which I start winding down. I reach for my blanket at the end of the day, and this kind of signals to my body now that I'm done with all of the busyness of the day and now it's time to unwind, take care of myself, and it kind of controls my thoughts. I start focusing inward. I just repeat the row. My hands know what to do with the crochet project. I'm not trying to figure out anything. And before you know it, this kind of crochet becomes a kind of mindfulness. While your hands get busy working on a project that you're so familiar with, your brain just kind of calms down. It's like you're giving your brain permission to quieten all of the thoughts of the day, all of the hecticness, and you kind of focus on something very relaxing. And this mindfulness becomes a habit. If you just practice this every day, and this habit becomes something that you would take forward, you will just see a small difference in everything that you do everywhere else. If you'd like to try this for yourself, here's a simple way to begin. Choose a pattern that feels truly easy. Pick yarn and colors that you enjoy. Set a small goal, just one row a day, and let that be enough. To support you with this, I have a few printables to share that you can use. You can download them for free, use what feels helpful, and create a rhythm that works for you. The first is a collection of simple stitch blanket and scarf patterns, easy repetitive designs that help you settle into a calm, steady rhythm without overthinking. The second is a mindful crochet habit tracker, designed to gently help you build a daily practice, whether it's one row, a few minutes, or simply just showing up and holding a crochet project. Together, these printables are meant to support your practice. They're not meant to structure your crochet into a tight space. Just use which one feels natural for you. So these are the kind of projects that I really like, and there are a few of them that I already have on my blog, and I'm going to share those patterns with you. Number one is my temperature blanket. This blanket is a huge commitment. It's a 365-day project. You crochet a row a day depending on the temperature in your area. This is a simple project for you to try to start a crochet habit where you crochet every day for a little bit of time. You could also make this into a temperature scarf instead of a blanket if you want a smaller project. I love this blanket because it is so comforting. You work just a row a day, so there's no pressure, and you get to change the colors, and the blanket turns out wonderful every time. It's such a unique project. The next project that is easy for beginners is this crochet moss stitch scarf. This one uses a bulky yarn and it works up really quickly, but again, it's a great one to form a habit with. You just work a couple of rows a day and the scarf turns out really nice. It's a simple project, but the moss stitch is very interesting and it gives a little bit of texture. If you're an absolute beginner, I have this single crochet blanket. It's just worked with single crochets and chain. Again, it uses a bulky yarn, but it's very soothing and very repetitive. It's just one stitch that you go on repeating. It's a slow moving blanket, but it turns out really nice, soft and cuddly. One of my favorite summer or warm weather projects is this double crochet stripe blanket. I used a bigger hook. By using a larger hook than recommended, you get this airy texture, and you can make it as colorful as you like. It's easily adaptable to change sizes, and it just uses one stitch, the double crochet stitch. You'll see that I like making blankets or scarf that have just one row repeats. If not one row repeats, basically they're one stitch that I just keep repeating over and over again. The blankets always turn up nice because there's no overthinking it. You just repeat it and you make a rectangle. This scarf on my blog is actually one of my most popular patterns because it's that simple. It is a one skein scarf, again a one row repeat, and I love the variegated yarn that I used for this because the color changes as it goes. It is so much fun to create, and I've recently been recreating it and making another version of it with a new color. Some patterns are really easy, and once you understand it and love it, you can just keep recreating those. I also want to say here that I absolutely love textured crochet projects that have involved stitches and so much work that you can see the result was made painstakingly. I have done so many projects like that, but I have come to admit that in this season of life, I just don't have enough time and attention span to carve out the energy and focus to make sure that I complete a blanket like that. And in the end, what happens is that I end up feeling guilty that I bought all of this yarn and I'm not working on the project, I'm not completing it in time. And I have been known to stuff all of it into like a tote bag and put it out of sight. And that's not a happy feeling either. So I've realized that as a busy mom right now with so many other people's schedule that I need to cater to as well, I want to have projects that actually bring me happiness, that are gentle towards me, but still make me feel like I'm being creative. I still get to yarn shop, pick up beautiful colors of yarn, nice textures. I enjoy everything about the crochet, but I just keep it simple enough that I can handle the project, I can start it, I can finish it, and I'm happy all through the project. So these are the kind of projects that I encourage myself to do, and it creates a calmness in me because I've made it a habit at this point. At the end of the day, I always reach for my crochet project. It kind of signals to my body that I'm winding down. I am done with all of the busyness of the day. I've always had a blanket ready to crochet on at the end of the night. And these are not projects that I want that are complicated. And sometimes if I like a pattern, I will make it in multiple colors because I know the pattern, I really like the blanket. I will just buy different colors of yarn and just enjoy the process all over again. For more ideas like this, visit Smiling Colors, where new crochet patterns, printables, and creative inspiration are shared every week. You can also follow along on YouTube for tutorials and relaxing projects that you can work on at your own pace. And if you'd like to stay inspired and never miss a new idea, make sure to sign up for my email list. I hope this idea resonated with you, friends, and you're inspired to create calming crochet projects. Because sometimes the simplest creative habits are the ones that make the biggest difference. And all it takes is one stitch to begin. Happy crafting, friends!